Hello gorgeous, it's Jen. Welcome to my channel. I have an update for you. It has been a hot minute since I did my chopping block series. I am back. I want to let you know I have been using the items that I chose in order to make a decision. Do they stay? Do they go? Do they just need a little bit of love? So today is your update and I have some new items that I'll be bringing in. So if that sounds interesting, just keep watching. I'm going to start by going over the items that I chose last month. I did finish a few items, which is fantastic. This is the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer. It was not my favorite. I wanted to finish it. It was not a bad primer. I think if you have normal to dry skin, you would like this even more than those of us with combination or oily. I finished it. Will I repurchase? Most likely not. And then this is the e.l.f. Matte Putty. This one, I'm not a huge fan of. I did use it. It just feels heavy and thick on my face. You either love this product or you hate this product. A lot of people love the e.l.f. Putty Primer, and I do think it smooths. I just don't like the texture on my skin. So this is gonna go. I also finished my Wet n Wild Photofocus Eyeshadow Primer. It's difficult to locate. This, again, not my favorite. I prefer more of a colored primer. Like today I have my Juvia's Place I Prime on. I finished this. It was okay. I forgot to bring the palette in here with me, but I had the Ace Beauté Floral Vintage palette. I will pop up a picture. That one I just had not given enough love to. I wanted to make sure that I liked that palette. I absolutely did. And of course I'll link that previous video if you want to see an eye look. I'm pretty sure I did an eye look with that palette that day. It's a great palette, hanging on to it. Yes, I did bring the Ace Beauté palette, this one. It is staying Floral Vintage. These are the shades. I have made some gorgeous looks with this palette. Love it. The other palette that I grabbed was this one from Believe Beauty, this Nearly Nude. I love this palette. Believe Beauty has so many good products. If you have a Dollar General near you, I highly recommend that you go check out this brand. I love their liquid lipstick, their eyeshadows, their blushes, their bronzers. I love their highlight palette, but this is a beautifully pigmented eyeshadow palette that just, I've created some easy neutral looks. I mean, look at that shimmer. I hope you can see that. Very, very pretty. You can go for an all matte look. There's a nice matte cream in there. There's some beautiful bronzy shades. Love it. Great palette. $5, $5.50, something like that. Cannot go wrong. Another item that I finished was this powder from Wet n Wild. I have an excess of powders. I have so many powders in my drawer, but this is a really good one. The Wet n Wild Photofocus translucent powder. It has a sifter in there. I took it out so that I could get every last bit out of this. It is smoothing, helps keep me matte, not drying, lightweight. This is great. Would I repurchase? Absolutely, and I recommend this one. This one here is the other powder that I chose. This is the Flower Beauty setting powder. This is an okay powder. I did not reach for this as much as I wanted to. You can see it's a little powdery. This one, I do like it. I will continue using it, but I don't think that I would repurchase it. I just think you can get better for less money. My two Alleyoops that I got from Boxycharm, these were in my stash for the month, for the last 2 months. This one is the Sassypants, which is a little bit of a cooler tone. There is a cream bronzer, a cream blush, and a cream highlight. And the highlight is my least favorite. The bronzer and blush were nice. And then here is the other one. This one is called Sunkissed. And you can tell which one I prefer. I hit pan on the Sunkissed. These were okay. I don't think you get a lot of product in here because I feel like I didn't use them very much and I'm almost on pan with a lot of them. These, it's fun. This is good for the no makeup girl that wants minimal product, that wants the ease of the 3 in the packaging. So not a terrible product, just not for me. So these I'm going to say goodbye to. While we're on bronzer and highlight, I grabbed this one from NYX. This is the matte bronzer. And this one, I made an attempt. It just isn't my favorite because of the tone. I did hit pan. I gave myself a valiant effort. And it's crazy because it looks neutral on my hand, but when I put it on my face, I feel like the tone just isn't quite right for me and it feels a little bit too warm. This is the shade medium. This one, I'm not gonna reach for it, so it's gonna go. I'm in a very cool tone bronzer moment of my life right now. I feel like the cooler the tones, the more happy I am. This highlight I grabbed from Wet n Wild. This one was not gonna go. I'm just not reaching for highlighters right now, but this one is a beautiful one. It's called I'm So Lit. Yesterday I had this on my cheeks. Really can be very, very bold, and then I also put it on my lid. I actually had the Believe Beauty on, and while that the shimmer in here is great, this one took it up 3 more notches. So if you're looking for a beautiful, smooth, bright highlight, Wet n Wild does it right. So this one, it's gonna stay. I pulled 2 concealers. I have this one. This is the Hailey's Beauty Rewind Concealer. And I also grabbed my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. And this one is gonna go because it's a little too dark and it's a little too thick. I don't find it super easy to blend. I got on the bandwagon with Hailey's Beauty. I was seeing it advertised everywhere. I had to try it. So I went on their website and I grabbed concealer and the foundation brush. Thank goodness, the foundation brush I absolutely love. This one I tried to use throughout the last couple months just as a spot concealer, but again, just a little too thick, not as easy to blend. I don't love this, so it's gonna go. And then the e.l.f. This one I'm confused by because for the longest time I swore that it was one of the best at the drugstore, and I don't know if it's because I have a little bit more mature skin, but this one feels a little dry under my under eyes. I use it and then it feels a little heavy, it feels a little dry. I have other drugstore concealers that I like more than this. I wasn't reaching for it, so my instincts were right. This one's gonna go. I grabbed 2 foundations for my chopping block. This is the IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Powder Foundation. And you can probably guess how this went because I just said in my last video, I really struggle with powder foundations. Sometimes I use them just to set my face. Don't love it. When I use it as full-on foundation, I usually hate it. So this one I tried to use. I felt like it looked heavy and cakey. I tried different brushes. I tried lighter application, building it up. Powder foundation and I just don't get along. So this is gonna go. The other foundation that I grabbed was this Bobbi Brown. This is her Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation, SPF 15. Mine is in the shade Golden Beige. And this one, I did fall back in love with. This is a nice foundation. I thought it was too heavy, but it's really not. I put it on with my fingers. I mean, it's not the lightest foundation that I've ever used, but it is a nice, long-wearing, full coverage foundation. There were days that I really appreciated this foundation, so this one's gonna stick around just a little bit longer. I did also pick out 2 lipsticks. This one from NYX. This is the NYX Lingerie Push Up lipstick, and I knew I wasn't gonna get rid of this one. This one I love. It is a beautiful brownie rose color. My breakfast is ready, and I love the minty feel on the lips. It's got a little sharpener on the other side. This is just a fantastic product from NYX. And then this one, I just wanted to give it its last ride because this I've had for too long. This is the Smashbox. I think it's Always On, and it's in the shade Stepping Out. I have this on today underneath my Fenty gloss, and this, it's a shame because it doesn't feel like it's bad, but I'm gonna pull it because I know it's been in my drawer for a couple of years. So that's gonna go, sadly. This one is gonna stay. And now for the new chopping block, which I did put the products on my face, so I'll have a little side-by-side going on here. And what I picked to either love or say goodbye to, or I'm just gonna say goodbye to it today because I know I don't want it. Let's start with the for sure goodbyes first. Ulta Brow Gel. It's not bad. Not my favorite, just not reaching for it. I have like a sample package and one that I actually purchased in a kit. My brow preference is a lot of hold. Today I have the AOA Shop Miss A Dollar Soap brow gel in my eyebrows, and it's one of my top favorites. My very top is the e.l.f. Brow Lift and the NYX Brow Glue. To me, those are the two best. These are gonna go. Oh, here's one from Believe Beauty. There's another item from Believe Beauty, but I'm telling you, 95% of what I've tried there I've liked. But the Believe Brow Gel, I didn't love it. So those three are going. I grabbed 2 liquid liners. I have very few liquid liners that I enjoy. This one is from ABH. This is their liquid liner. I think when there's a very flimsy tip, that's what I have a hard time with. And then this one is the liquid liner from Jason Wu. You can find him at Target. A lot of fantastic products. This one I did not enjoy. This one is even more flimsy. So nice black. If you like brush tip liners, these might work well for you. Not for me. They're gonna go. For primer, in the chopping block, I have this Honest Matte Primer. This one, again, it's an okay primer, and I am getting to the bottom of it. I'm not sure it's worth the $20 price tag. It is a decent smoothing, mattifying primer. I would call it more smoothing than mattifying. Keeps you matte, just not super long. I'm gonna finish this one. It's okay. And we will decide if this is something worth repurchasing with regular use or if it needs to go. For eyes, on the chopping block, let's decide, are they still good? Do I still want them? Is this one from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. bite-sized shadow palette in Truffles. I'm in a cool tone bronzer. I like a lot of cool tones on my eyes. I'm going to put this one to the test, make sure I still want it. This one has some very deep colors in it. These are the 3 mattes. And then this is the shimmer. It is beautiful. I might even make some comparisons because I know I have some higher end palettes with those colors in it. But these are under $5. I want to give it some love. The other shadow that I picked out was this oldie but goodie from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Modern Renaissance. This is what I have on my eyes today. What I did, I have makeup all over me. What I did for this look is I started with Venetian Red. Then I deepened it a little bit with the Red Ochre. Blended out the edges with this one right here called Warm Taupe. Then on the lid, I took a little bit of this Bon Fresco. And then for the shimmer, I took this Vermeer. I just like the color tones in here. It actually reminds me of the Natasha Denona My Dream palette a little bit. Again, might have to do a little comparison. I've had this for a while. I want to make sure that the quality is still good, show it some love. I have a couple ABH palettes in my drawer. Have to get used to them again because it was a bit powdery. I was careful, but I'm happy with this eye look. Very plummy, mauve. Looks good. Say a prayer, but this one is probably not going to make it. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin. I fell into the hype on this one. This one went crazy on social media. Everybody said it was wonderful, so I picked it up, and I have not found it to be so wonderful. But I'm going to try to give this one some love. This one is in the shade Y355. Like I said, I will link it. I will use this. I also grabbed my e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. Not my favorite, but this one is almost finished. So this is going to be we're going to finish this guy up. And then the last one that I grabbed is the one that I have on today. This is the number 7 Airbrush Away Tinted Skin Perfector. This one, Taylor Wynn on YouTube recommended this, and I do really enjoy it. If silicone products bother you, you might not like this. It does come out a little bit on the thick side. That's what it looks like. It also looks like it's going to be too dark. Mine is in the shade medium. And it looks too dark, but when you blend it out, sorry for the dirty hand, it really, really blends into the skin. And talk about silky, silky smooth. This is one of the most pore blurring products I've ever used. My only complaint with this one, which is why I probably don't reach for it as much as I should, is that the coverage is not amazing. So you have to do a little bit of spot concealing, which I did with my concealer today. This NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. This one's a little bit more of a skin tone concealer that I have under my eyes and spot concealing, and it did a fine job. I also grabbed this Urban Decay All Nighter powder, this waterproof setting powder. This one I just don't reach for. I feel like it darkens when I put it on my face. I'm gonna give this one last shot. I've also had it for a while. We'll see what it can do. Another powder I grabbed is this one here from RCMA, and this is the one that I have on today. This is the original no color powder. My complaint about this one is that it's a little bit difficult to get out of the cap because that cap is really small and it's very, very lightweight, so you feel like powder's going everywhere. But this one is gonna be more of a, let's put it to the test, let's give it some love, let's make sure I want it to stay around because I do like it. I just need to see if I can get past the inconvenience of that small cap. And this one, a lot of bang for your buck. You get a lot of product in here, 3 ounces in here. I think I got this on Beautylish. For bronzers, I grabbed this Wet n Wild. This is their makeup stick, and this one is in the shade Call Me Maple. This is what I have on today. This is probably my least favorite of the 3 shades. Again, I feel like it looks a little bit warmer. I love all of my cream bronzers, but it's time to whittle it down a little bit or replace with new. I have 3 shades and I think this one is my least favorite, so I'm going to give it some love, make sure I still want it in my stash or if it needs to go. But very inexpensive and long lasting. I grabbed this little baby Hourglass diffused bronze light, and I had to have this. I don't even know if they sell minis anymore. I was afraid it would be too light, and I think it is too light. I mean, smoothing to the skin, yes. I'll have to look and see, is it worth the price? Are there deeper shades? I have this on today, and it does look nice, so maybe there's hope. We shall see, but I'm gonna use this little baby. Hourglass is super expensive. I probably paid a pretty penny just for this baby. I will see if I can link it. I grabbed no highlight to test. I have a whole drawer. That might have to be a whole separate video of let's whittle down the highlights because I'm just not reaching for them. But for blush, I grabbed this oldie but goodie. This is the Milani Luminoso. This is their baked blush. This, I think, is gonna be its final joyride with me because this is very old. But this is a famous blush that is the perfect pinky peach. It's got a little bit of a luminosity to it. It is a gorgeous blush. Mine is just old. And if I fall back in love, I can repurchase it. And the last blush, the one that I have on today, is this one here. This one is on the older side as well. This is just the e.l.f., I believe it's the primer infused blush, and this one is in the shade Always Spicy. It is a pretty mauvey brown. I feel like it's pretty neutral. Like it's not necessarily cool, it's not necessarily warm. These are very pigmented, very long lasting. It just fell in the back of the drawer, so I'm going to use it. The Essence Extreme Lasting Black Liner. You know I love it. I repurchase it all the time. This one's little, so I'm gonna see how far I can get with this. Continue trying to use it until it is used up. And then for mascara, I have this little baby from Urban Decay. I'm so sad. I do not think that this exists anymore. This is their Lash Freak mascara. I love this mascara. It builds up so nicely. It can get out of control. You do have to really take your time, but I love this. I even have a backup of the full size. So if I can find it to link it, I will. But wow, super close. It's got a really funky applicator that's flat on one side and bristles on the other, and what you can do is put the flat side against your lashes to apply the product and then use the bristles to comb it through. But lift is good, volume is there. I love this mascara. So that is everything. I hope you had some fun with me. Wish me luck getting through these products. It's time to move out the old to get room for the new or fall back in love. Please make sure you're subscribed before you leave. I would love to have you join me. Hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you know when I upload, which is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.